You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's So You Think You Can Dance After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's So You Think You Can Dance After Show.
That shimmy.
Shimmy. What's up, guys? Bing is for doing. I'm your host, AJ Gibson. We're here at AfterBuzz Studios in beautiful Hollywood, California, covering another episode of So You Think You Can Dance. This is season 10, episode 7. We're at top 20, you guys. Finally.
Yay!
We're finally here. Joined again by my lovely co-host, Chloe West, to my right. How are you?
Good, AJ. How are you?
I'm doing great. Shimmy.
Shimmy.
Kristyn Burtt, what's up?
Oh, having a good week.
There go the shoulders. And somebody else is known for his shoulders, Jake Dupree. How are you, Jake?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm really excited because we have a special guest in studio tonight, you guys. You guys have met her. I haven't. She's on loan to us from another one of these dancing competition shows you may have heard of, Dancing with the Stars. Anna Trebunskaya, how are you?
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
You gotta go, Anna Trebunskaya.
These guys knows we've bonded over the last few months.
We miss you.
I Americanized it a little bit.
You did.
Anna Trebunskaya.
It's okay.
Anna Trebunskaya.
That sounded Spanish, but that's okay.
Okay, well.
Why not? But she was one of our hosts with Dancing with the Stars, and we missed her tremendously.
Oh, I miss you guys too.
Well, these two are transplants from Dance with the Stars, and this is my first season with Chloe and Jake, and I just met them a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
I love them.
You will.
I do.
You have no choice.
I do. And Kristyn and I, we go way back. Way back. So, big episode tonight, you guys. We're finally top 20. I feel like last year we kind of like trudged along to the top 20. This year I feel like it's been a pretty good season so far. And I don't say that about the show very often. I'm one of those types. I love reality competition shows the second half of the season always. The first half of the season tends to be a bit boring for me, but this show is really picking it up this season.
I think it's because they're doing the one episode, one a week, and they're just really choosing the best.
Well, they did it last year, but it just...
They figured it out.
Yeah. Last year
they got the formula down.
Exactly. There was no in-depth coverage of these dancers, and their packages were so short last season that I wasn't invested in anyone. But this season I love, and I kind of love the top 20.
I do too. I'm really happy.
Pretty good.
Yeah. So let's get into it, you guys.
Yeah.
So to start off this episode, we've got it's not a live episode yet, but we're in studio sort of. We've got
live-ish.
Yeah, live-ish. Nigel.
Live-esque.
Live-esque. I write down esque. Oh, it's so funny. I write down esque all the time, and I put ESQUE.
Do you add licious to like live-alicious?
I like that.
I leave that to Jake Dupree. So we're live-esque. We got Adam Shankman on the panel, and I just have to say at the top of this episode, Kat Deeley has never looked hotter. She takes chances, and sometimes they're not good chances. Usually it turns out good for her, but tonight, oh my lord, her legs.
And she styles herself too.
Does she?
Does she? Good
That's
for her.
why the risks sometimes.
Well, yeah.
Go girl.
I love her risks. One time, it was a few seasons ago, she was wearing all of the stick-on jewels on her chest, and it was I loved it. She looked like a beautiful butterfly.
Well, she's so just naturally beautiful, and as these seasons progress, she gets prettier and prettier.
I love that she hasn't fixed her nose either.
Yes.
A little crooked.
It's crooked, and I love
Stay
that.
British, girl. Stay British.
That's right.
That's why we love you.
I've never even noticed her crooked nose. Thanks a lot. Now I'm going to notice it.
Drive you nuts
I know the guy that does her makeup this season, and he says she barely wears any makeup at all.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
She's that damn pretty.
Darn, we hate her, but love her so much.
Of course, I love her.
She, like I always say, because I have to, she's my second favorite female host on television. We love you, Maria Menounos.
I
I love Kat Deeley. Kat Deeley is the type of host, I always say Kat Deeley and Tom Bergeron. They're the two hosts that if I could like somehow become a meld of those two, that would be my dream.
Well, Tom has his Emmy. Kat deserves her Emmy.
Yes, she does.
Yes, she does.
She really does.
She really
And she
does.
will.
She'll get it. I hope so.
Tom didn't get it right away. It took a little time. Took a little convincing for those Amy people.
She has to earn it, right? We talk about earning it a lot on this show. She has to earn it. I think she has.
After 10 seasons, I think.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's true.
She didn't do the first season.
That's right.
Yeah,
right.
Somebody else
Lauren
did it.
Sanchez.
Lauren Sanchez
Yeah.
did
She's a
it.
newscaster here in Los Angeles,
Right.
and, but her husband is also an agent at CAA, I believe, and he packaged the show. And
Yeah.
guess who got a job out of nepotism?
I'm taking notes.
I know.
Yeah, I know. I'm like,
Mary.
husband at CAA. Okay.
We gotta start hanging out in Century City.
I need to start dating up.
She's
Yeah.
married to Patrick Weitzel, one of the most powerful agents in Los Angeles.
I need to give him
Good for her.
And not bad.
Need to give him a call.
Well, anyway, we can talk about all that stuff. Let's start with the show.
Yeah, let's get that.
A lot to discuss.
Thank you.
We'll be here for hours.
So we start off, we're in the holding room. We've got 33 dancers that have made it to the Green Mile. There are a lot of people this
Scary.
season that have made it to the Green Mile in years past,
Yep.
and they play on that a lot this episode.
Yeah.
I can't wait to talk about that. But our very first dancer going through fiction. Well, I mean,
And you
is
know
any
that they're
shock?
going to start off on a positive note, so you're kind of like in.
Yeah.
Exactly. I just absolutely. I love his personality, and they do too. They talk about that. They say you're not trained, but you've got personality.
Well, it's always interesting when they say you're not trained, because what is definition of trained? Trained, it means in my books that you've been doing something repetitively for a number of years, a certain amount of time. And even though those untrained dancers, because they're doing hip hop or because they're doing whatever they're doing, they've been doing that for years. So they are trained in their style.
Yeah.
Well, we talk about that a lot on the show because it's, to me, I don't understand because I'm not a dancer. I'm the one on the panel who's never been a dancer. I'm 6'5". But
That's okay.
right.
You could always do ballroom.
Everybody always tells me, you could take a class.
You could
Maybe.
always do tango.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah?
you should take a class at Anna's studio.
Yeah.
I would
Bring your
probably be in-
boyfriend.
I'd probably be in heaven. Psh, I'll go take a class.
That's right. And bring the boyfriend. We always need extra males.
Absolutely. Maybe you can talk to this a little bit. I think as a non-dancer, I don't understand when they say you're not trained. Like you said, he is trained in that style.
Yeah.
How is that any different? I know we talk about ballet dancers tend to have like that base and they're more grounded and that gives them a good foundation for other types of dance. But is there a really, outside of ballet, is there a certain style of dance that is easier to translate into these other styles? Or is it really that much more difficult for hip hop dancers or street performers to come into these styles? These more contemporary and jazz and...
I'm sure that there's some challenges in rehearsal for some of them, especially when the choreographers are throwing out ballet terms, because ballet terms are thrown around in probably every form of dance except maybe hip hop. I mean, they probably say
I
bend
don't
the
think
knees
in
versus
animation.
plie.
Yeah, what is it? Animation.
Animation, crumping, those
Probably
type
no
of.
ballet turns.
Yeah, they're not saying plie as much. They're saying bend your knees. They understand that, but plie or sachet or pas de bourrée or like some of these really basic terms that you learn in kind of like your beginner ballet class, they may not have that. So there's probably a little bit of a learning vocabulary issue for them.
So do we think that the issue really is then that maybe they're not necessarily trained, but trained in choreography? Because
I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
Being able to pick up choreography, learn
Partnering, we know
choreography, partnering. I mean, I think that's hard for pretty much everyone. They're showing that, unless they're coming from ballroom.
Or contemporary, where they've had some.
Yeah, contemporary has a lot of.
they throw each other
partnering
around a lot. That's what I pick up from contemporary.
They do.
A lot of throwing each other around.
Throwing and like someone bends over and then they press on them and spin around.
Right.
Maybe Jake could show us
their
one
feet
week.
are always like this and they go up. They just kick their legs with their feet like dorsiflex.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of contemporary. I see.
You know what it is? It's like we're not gonna point our toes.
Yeah.
We gotta flex them.
We're the anti-ballet.
Exactly.
Anti-ballet. We
Yes.
are cooler than that.
I'd be an anti-ballet dancer if I were a dancer.
I point my toes for everything.
Yeah.
I have pictures of me jumping off a cliff, toes pointed.
It's in your nature.
Yep, it is.
You can't get away from it. Then we have a montage of a bunch of people who don't make it through.
Yeah.
These poor kids have made it this far, and they get sent out in a montage. That always breaks my heart.
I know, it's even worse.
I hate that they have to walk back in the room.
Yeah.
Whether they make it or not.
In
It's
front
so
of everybody else. I'm like,
Although I have to say everyone was very supportive. hugs and encouragement and tears.
I feel like dancers, for the most part, I will say, I've been around a lot of dancers. I feel like the community is just unique. They're very supportive of each other. I don't know if it's the same in Ballroom.
Yes.
Yeah. And
everybody knows everybody. Everybody kind of. We all understand what you have to go through, so we can all relate to each other. So
there's like a mutual respect, if nothing else.
That's yes, for the most part.
Yeah. Of course.
There's always a few divas here and there.
There need to be.
You gotta have always the black sheep.
There need to be. And then move on to this guy. This one kills me, Marcus Shields. This poor guy, Green Mile again. Cut last year on Green Mile. Cut again by Mary Murphy. And that sets up a trend for the night.
Yep.
A lot of repeats. And I feel bad for him. But again, he doesn't really stand out. And this show really isn't about who's the best dancer. It's really about who's got the best personality to make a TV
best
show.
Story.
Who can shine and sparkle.
There are a lot of stories. Like, you have to be like have like some sort of devastation in your life, it seems like, to get on the show anymore. And they're great. They're talented dancers, but there are a million talented dancers. We've said a million times, you could cast the show 20 times over just in Los Angeles.
Of course.
I mean, just the great dancers that are here. So, maybe we'll come back next season.
Yeah.
Season 11. Yeah. Let's hope so. And then we move on to Mariah. She's the only female hip hopper. What's her last name?
Spears.
Mariah Spears.
Who looks like
Mariah Carey,
Britney
Britney
Spears.
Spears.
Clarkson.
And she looks like Kelly Clarkson.
She for sure does.
She does.
She does look like a little Kelly.
A little bit. A little bit.
And then who hurt him so much?
Emilio.
That
Emilio.
sucks.
That's awful.
Do you know, I got a little bit of the backstory, too, on his injury. He actually broke his nose during rehearsal. So if I'm following everything correctly, I believe that he actually went to Hollywood, broke his nose during rehearsal, and somewhere between June 12th and June 14th, he had surgery today, and actually posted some photos post-surgery. He's going to be okay, but he does have a bit of a recovery ahead of him. So I believe from a broken nose. So he must have landed or done something and landed really hard. So Aaron, who took his place, I don't believe got a lot of rehearsal time compared to some of the other dancers.
Wow.
And good for him. They get to dance together and do a Luther Brown piece. No, where are we at? No.
Yeah,
That's
they
right.
dance.
Yeah.
Yep, Luther Brown.
Yeah. I wrote down that he's good with choreo. She kind of bored me.
Yeah. I liked his personality. I think his personality is what's gonna pull him through. And the judges mentioned, I think Nigel mentioned that, we haven't had a hip hop female dancer for a while, so really excited to have you. I'm like, I wonder how she's gonna do in other styles.
When I watched her, I just kept thinking she was
like too nice.
Yeah, I kept thinking
you like hip hop dancer
to be dirty and nasty.
Oh,
yeah.
I thought she was sassy and sexy.
I agree with that. I thought there was a sass. My eyes kept going to her for some reason.
Me too.
The choreography for this piece, I did not enjoy at all. I was like, come on, like give them something that they can really get down. It was a lot of like.
It was a lot of walking
into the camera. It was just weird.
Pose.
I felt like she was blocking it. Like the whole time I watched her, I was kind of like she was smiling.
I think that's the choreography.
And maybe that is it because this show, you have to, obviously, it's a television show, but it was so much to the camera the whole time. I was like, and I did watch her, but I was watching her because I was like, come on.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see her do a nap and tap piece where there's so many like little movements.
Right. Details.
Yeah, that if she can really pull that off, then you're like, okay, you're a great hip hop dancer.
Yeah, I don't know a lot about Luther Brown. Has he been on the show?
He was on So You Think You Can Dance Canada.
Yeah, he's a judge actually on that show. So yeah.
Cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, legit. And then we move on. We've got Mackenzie, the first contemporary dancer through.
Beautiful.
Mia Michaels calls her brilliant.
Wow.
For Mia Michaels to use a word like brilliant.
To a dancer.
Yeah. I mean, that's got to be pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah, female for sure.
She's tougher on female. Mia is tougher on females.
Yeah.
From the 9 seasons, whatever how many seasons she was on, she's like more like, you're a woman, you got to be strong.
Yeah.
But you're a guy, you could be okay.
I can't even imagine. To me, this would mean like the only thing I can compare this to is like if Oprah Winfrey or Barbara Walters or somebody said to me like, "You're a brilliant host," I'd be like, I couldn't even wrap my brain around that.
Yeah.
Like that's pretty incredible.
It's crazy.
Make you cry.
And also, regardless of how she does on the show, she's going to be working for the next 10 years.
Gorgeous.
Yes.
Yeah.
Beautiful. She has lovely body, long lines.
Those feet.
The feet, right? They all love her feet. I mean, they gave her a lot of praise, but I mean, like technically, danceability, I don't know yet. I'm like, you're beautiful and you have good technique, but like you said, it's about personality, and sometimes people who maybe not as pretty, good looking, they have so much more personality because they almost have to work harder because they feel like, well, I'm not pretty, but I'm, you know, quirky, or I'm funky, but then they'll have that extra oomph. So she's got to watch out for those girls and guys who have a little bit more funk to them.
And they're already setting her up right now as like, the front runner. They're like, you're the one to watch. You're a star. And I'm like,
they have a plan.
Yeah, too early.
They have a plan, and they haven't shown her that much throughout the Vegas week and everything. They didn't show her at all, basically.
Yeah, I don't remember her story.
Like, singing her praises. So it's interesting what they're doing.
Yeah.
We'll see how this all plays out.
She was the one that had the singing parents, Mackenzie, which performed when she was a little girl on stage with them.
Yes, not the Elvis parent, the other singing parent.
The other singing parent.
The group, and her aunt and uncle.
Aunt and uncle,
yeah, that's right, that's right.
A little quartet or something.
Well, she makes it through. First contemporary dancer, joined by Jasmine Harper. Shocking.
Oh my gosh. Cyrus's ex-girlfriend.
I mean, that's a story. They're trying to make a story out of she and Blueprint.
They're going to have a duet. Done.
Yeah.
If she makes it later weeks, I do too.
No, I want them to have a trio with her and Blueprint and Cyrus and like a battle between.
I don't think Blueprint's going to make it long.
You don't think so?
I don't think so.
But you know what's interesting? In all the group dances, he was featured.
He
They
was.
featured him in all of them. And they're right, he's not giving a lot of emotion, but I don't feel like that won't be hard to turn up because they're loving him.
Yeah,
The
but he's
choreographers
doing
are
his
featuring
stuff
him.
right now. He's doing his own.
Yeah,
Alexa Anderson.
he did.
Blueprint will be in the finale. I'm just saying it.
No, he won't.
There's something there. There's something there. There's something.
It's something about the guy.
Yeah, he's one of those people that I always notice this every single season. I've learned not to do this every single season. The people that I'm like, oh my God, they're such a great dancer. They're such a great dancer. They're always gone fast. They get rid of the duplicates the first couple of weeks. There's 3 brunettes. They get rid of one of them. There's 3 blondes. They get rid of one of them. And then these unique ones stick around. Blueprint.
I don't think he's Cyrus, though. He's not Cyrus.
No.
And that's a good thing because he doesn't need to. He can't be Cyrus because if he's like Cyrus, he's going to be gone right away. He has to be himself. He has to be individual. He needs to like overcome this, oh, Cyrus is my idol thing. And
Absolutely.
like, be yourself, show what you got, you know, showcase yourself to the best ability. And I agree with there's something about this guy. He's interesting. There's charm. There's depth in him.
If they can just pull that out of him.
And there's this is a thing that's exciting about him. There's something to be developed.
Yes.
He's not amazing right now, but you could see that potential. You can feel it. So if it can grow and develop, that's what we're gonna love, and that's what everybody gonna.
And I think that'll keep people voting because they just hang in there a little bit longer because at this point last year I didn't love Cyrus. I really like Blueprint already. They're gonna give
Blueprint a contemporary moment that's gonna make everyone cry.
Yes, and he's gonna break down.
And they're gonna call in and vote like crazy.
Yep.
And we're not even
I'm in the minority on this one. All right.
Well, the funniest thing is that we're not even to Blueprint yet.
No, I know. There we go. Here we go.
Then we get rid of a few more dancers, and then they bring in Tucker and Nico together.
I love them. They inspire me so much.
This was so rude. What they did to them, and they kept doing it all night, and it was driving me bananas.
Yeah.
When they would tell one and then like fake say no to the other, but then be like, just kidding, come on.
Well, but at least it was a joke that ended up well.
For those two of them.
To do the joke and be like, sorry, that's not really
Two brothers,
cool.
Yeah, there were a few of them that you were like,
that's sad.
Yeah, that's a heartbreaking one. So these guys are both through.
Good for them.
And Tucker coming back from a car accident when he couldn't even walk. They didn't think he would ever even be able to walk again, let alone dance like that.
Crazy story.
Great story.
I feel like such an underachiever. Like really? He went from that to this?
National TV.
Yep.
Yeah. I wish I could look at me. Look at my papers sticking together. This is embarrassing, you guys. I need notes.
Embarrassed
I need notes to get through this thing because there's a lot to talk about. So now we've got our first contemporary number of the night. We've got Stacey Tukey. She's one of my favorite choreographers.
I did not love this piece.
Well, okay. I didn't love most of the pieces tonight, to be honest. Early in the
I love Stacey Tukey. I didn't love this piece.
I think they're still kind of figuring out who these people all are. It's early in the season.
There's 4 people dancing together, haven't danced together, but
yeah.
I thought Jasmine seemed weak.
I wrote Jasmine has flaws.
I did too.
That's what I wrote down too.
And that's a good thing.
Yeah. She's a room to grow. She and Blueprint. Watch out, finale. I mean,
oh my God,
lovers triangle.
The only thing I really liked about this piece is that it seemed very improvisational. Like it seemed like it was just kind of organic, and I liked that. But I don't know if it necessarily serves a purpose on the show, though.
I still feel like with a lot of those, especially like with 4 people, you know, when there's a group dance, the more people, the harder it is to coordinate everybody to have them all in sync. And I feel the dancers are still learning about, the choreographers are learning about the dancers are learning how the choreographers work, and then all the dancers been like learning how each other works and trying to develop that sort of side eye to see like, okay, what is my mate here is doing, right? What's my partners here is doing, and when you have this person, and that person, like that, to be aware of that is quite hard, and maybe some of them aren't really experienced in that. Maybe they're more experienced in being on their own and doing their own thing. It's a skill. And
it's tricky too, to like, these kids have all come from like dance studios across the country. Now they're doing like a show on this stage they've idolized
with
their entire lives with Stacey Tukey. I mean, that's a lot.
Yeah.
It's huge.
And you know what else? I wrote down a couple of things. One, I hated their costumes. They didn't make sense to me. It looked like they all just picked their own clothes and wore them, like black and white. It didn't make sense. And then I wrote down, Tucker cries, ... too soon for votes. He broke down and cried. Was it genuine?
But there was a lot of crying.
I cried with him. I actually, because I thought the dance left me pretty cold, and then Tucker started crying, and I was like, okay, I'll cry. Because you understand that just release of like, you're finally here at top 20, you were practically paralyzed. Like, gosh knows what happened in that accident. The drama of TV,
gosh
we don't know.
Kristen.
Gosh knows.
You're
but
so
you know,
adorable.
that's, I'm sitting next to Jake. I'm golly. Come on, I'm going to be like talking Southern soon. Wait till you hear my accent by the end of the season. But I just think it actually was just a genuine like release. You're just like, phew, I made it here.
I think so.
Yeah, I loved it actually.
Yeah, I'm not saying I did or didn't. I just wasn't sure. I was like, I'm not really. I was kind of indifferent to it.
Because we're not voting this week.
Yeah.
I think Tucker's gonna be my heartthrob. He's like not the cutest one right now, but there's something about him that you're like, gosh, I just love his little curly hair.
He's your Keon of the season. Keon was that for me last year.
Yeah,
that's
just something about him.
Tucker just inspires me. Like every time I see him dance, I'm like, I want to go take a dance class right now. Like I just love him. I think he's fantastic.
Huge. If he gives you that feeling, that's huge.
That is pretty cool.
Let's get to the tappers.
Yes.
Let's get to the tappers.
Okay, well, let's talk about Alexis first. Okay, Alexis made it through. Great.
I think she's adorable.
No,
I like Alexis a lot.
She's cute.
I like her a lot.
She's great. I like her
She's cute.
personality a lot.
She's
I
cute.
think she's different. She's not traditionally like beautiful. She's not like but she's something about her kind of hot.
Yeah, she's kind of pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's Curtis Holland.
He's very charming.
Curtis.
Yeah.
I said, okay, this kid had my favorite audition in the early rounds of anybody in the history of So You Think You Can Dance.
Wow.
I love this kid, partially because I'm a sucker for a good story. Nobody was there to support him. This kid was bawling, and just like to see his progress through Vegas week and to see him break down after the contemporary number, was it Sonia?
Stacey.
Yeah, and he's like, I've never danced like this, and it's all genuine. It's all genuine.
Yep.
Oh, this kid.
cute.
He's young.
He's got personality. He's got more personality than his pinky finger.
He does.
Half the people on the show.
Yeah.
Which is I'm excited because tappers never go really far in the competition.
Yeah.
And I wonder it's because of that, and that. So I'm glad that we have a male and a female that are so strong and they're tappers, and it's gonna be fun. Like I want people of different styles to make it further.
I loved because when we saw him in Vegas, he actually looks like he handles contemporary very well. He's young enough where he's not so set. A lot of the tappers that have been on the show.
I wonder how old he is.
He's 18.
He's 18.
Oh,
This is his first year to audition.
Good age.
Yeah, a lot of these tappers that have been on in the past, the few that have made it through have been late in their 20s, and they're kind of set in their ways.
Yeah.
This kid he's still raw. He's a sponge.
And willing to learn. That's
That's
eager.
huge.
He's hungry.
Yes.
He's got it.
I love this kid.
Yeah.
And then because of Emilio, they bring back Aaron.
Who was number 11 on the top 10
11.
guys.
Yes. Which is a pretty cool story because I think he also, did he make it?
Last season.
He made it to Green Mile again last year. So they bring him back and they do a tap number with the 3 of them. Anthony Margerano? Morgerano. I don't know how I spelled that. But I thought this number was really cool.
It was a cool tap number.
It was great.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
I have one question though. What are the boards that they had that they slide across? What are those?
It was
Does
just
anybody
for an
know?
element of surprise.
You're a tap dancer?
Yeah, it wasn't anything special to tap. It was just something that the taps can slide on.
Okay.
Can slide across so that they could do really different tricks.
Yeah, that was so
And
cool.
it'll change the sound of the taps a little bit because of you're on wood versus the Marley floor.
No, you guys are all dancers. Did you guys take tap when your kids at all?
I never took tap.
You never?
I never took tap.
I did. I'm terrible at it.
You guys never took it? It's so fun. You should take a class.
I'll take a class.
It's very like campy and it's really fun, and then you can get really like gritty and into it.
Yeah.
I feel like I'd fall down. I feel like I just slip.
No, you don't get into the slips until you get really good and you can like shift your weight.
Well, I just remember watching the Cosby Show growing up all the time, and every now and then Bill Cosby would go to like the tap studio, and the guy would dance on the sand or the salt or whatever it was.
That's awesome.
And he'd always slide, and I got nervous.
It's ingrained in you.
So I love these guys. I'm really excited to see. I think they actually both have potential to do pretty well this season.
I don't know about Aaron.
I think Aaron is going to go far.
Oh, Aaron?
Really?
Yeah.
I don't.
He's either going to be gone first or he's going to last because he's probably the biggest man on the show.
He's massive. He's like, well, he's almost as tall as Kat Deeley. And that's tall.
And he's broad
for a dancer.
He's big. Yeah, and to be a tapper and be that big, so he's very light on his feet. I think he might go really far. I can't wait to see him do
styles.
I can't wait to see him do ballroom and really like if he can be strong, and carry those partners, I think he's going to go really far.
It could go either way for him because either the public's going to feel like, oh my God, he almost didn't make it, let's vote for him, or they're going to be like, he shouldn't be on the show anyways.
I think over Curtis. Like Curtis to me is that raw, untapped talent. He's just got that energy. And see, to me, I would actually put Curtis towards the end more than Blueprint.
I kind of feel like
I think Curtis and Blueprint are going to be in the finale together, but I'm not even going to go there yet.
Oh, here we go.
I think it's
Start your stacks. Start it.
We're already arguing.
So let's move on. We finally got we've got these guys. They've been putting them up against each other all season long.
This is ridiculous the way
Blueprint
they
and Jade,
set this up.
They're trying to make it seem like credible, like give them some street cred. I hate that they effing tricked them. That's what she wrote down.
So stupid.
You take thorough notes.
Yes.
But they've been trying to build this street battle theme all season.
And they don't even look like this type of guys. Like they don't look like they look like really sweet and kind, and they're like, "Love you, man." They seem very supportive of each other. Yeah, so not working.
Come on, I mean, we're always going to put these two guys into the top 20. It's what I call the Cyrus effect. Cyrus was tremendously popular. He brought animation to the forefront to all the living rooms in America. They were going to have the two of them.
Remember when this show used to be like 20 contemporary dancers?
Yeah, and like one ballroom dancer.
And now there's 4 ballroom dancers this season. And
I said contemporary dancers take notice because it's showing a trend in dance too that it's not just contemporary. It's all these other different styles.
And if you're going to be contemporary, you better have like a totally different style, like
and be incredible. Yeah.
And also like it's like either ballroom is huge right now, or like that hip hop style, that more street style. Where I mean, the people who are working right now are in ballroom, or they're on tour with Britney Spears and Kesha and Nicki Minaj, and those aren't contemporary dancers for the most part, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
What work is there really for contemporary dance? If you're not in a company, like that's it.
Really it. And there's like random music videos where they'll feature just contemporary dancers or something, or some like ad campaigns feature like leaps and stuff, but that's that's about it.
Can you leap? Yes. I mean, that's few and far between. So
you think you can leap?
It's a good spin-off coming summer of 2014.
There was a diving show. There was a diving show.
There was. Oh my gosh. Yes, there was.
My
on
sister
ABC.
was on the diving show, Splash.
What? No.
Little side note, my sister was the towel girl. She was the model in the heels and the bikini who took the robes from everybody. Watch it back.
Get that
little sister.
Get the paycheck.
She's a little hot.
Anna, if they asked you to do Splash, would you do it?
Absolutely.
Yes, I love it.
I would wear the rhinestone, bikini stuff.
Like French cut bikini.
The stuff, like that. And I would insure my body, though.
There's so many injuries.
Probably. I will definitely insure it. And I'd be like, okay, how the hell do you do this so I don't break it? Because you know how they have to dive in like that.
You would be good, though, because you have so much body control that when they would teach you, you could
She'd already have the lines.
Snap into it, yeah.
Well, let's see if they come back for season 2.
I'm crazy enough that I'll like jump without even knowing if person's gonna catch me or not, and I do it. So I won't be like scared to jump because I did zip lining, golly, like a month ago or something, and I was the first person. I'm like, I'm going first, and everybody's like, wow. I'm like, if I see other people do it, I'll get freaked out. They freaked out. I get freaked out. If I just go first, and I don't know how scary it is, it'll be fine. So I'm crazy enough like that to do something like Splash.
Yeah. Well, if they come back for season 2, Greg Louganis has got engaged or got married.
He just got engaged.
Yeah. So back to our show. Back to our network.
Sorry.
I love all of our segues.
All right, right. So we've got a Christopher Scott number for Blueprint and Jade. What did you guys think about this?
So good.
Damn it was so good.
It was good.
It was so good.
So good.
It's good, but I was watching Jade. I gotta say it.
That's what I said.
I was watching
I
Jade.
wrote Blueprint stands out for me.
Yeah,
I was watching
Jade.
Blueprint.
I was watching Jade. Look at that. Split right down
But
the.
You know what
What were you?
bothers-
Who were you watching?
I was split. I liked it both.
She's
but
Switzerland. What is wrong
I am
with you,
so,
Chloe?
but you know what? You know what I love about animators that I feel like other dances don't do this is they use every single piece of the costume and it's part of the dance.
Yeah.
The hat,
This-
the
this is
tie,
was
taking the
sick.
tie out, making the tie something else, and it was just so cool to see that in animation that they want to use everything and it's all part of the show. I
was
love
great.
that.
How their
Yes.
fist disappeared into that hat was
That
so
was-
crazy.
I know. I was
awesome.
thinking,
So
what did they
cool.
do? Did they bend their
They
arm?
bent it like
Yeah.
this.
Oh, yeah.
So they're holding the hat here, and it went like this.
That was so
Yeah.
I
cool.
just cannot get over the fact that Jade is so short and has no,
so tiny.
he has no neck. No, it's like this the whole
Contemporary is
time.
gonna be like.
It just bugs
Yeah.
me.
It's gonna be
And
tough.
ballroom too. would be
Ballroom
like,
is gonna be.
That's
if he has
gonna be a
waltz,
bomb for him.
Yikes.
Yeah. But it's going to be also tough for Aaron, who is so big, if he gets a tiny female partner.
They won't. I think they'll do it nicely. Don't you think?
But there are enough.
you
There are
don't
enough
know.
tall girls, though. There are enough.
There are enough tall girls. Yeah, because
so
I know
Jasmine's tall.
Yeah.
No, I don't. I don't
Both
want her to be
Jasmines are
with
tall.
him.
I
Huh?
think
I
Melise
don't
will
want her
be
to be
with
with
Jade.
him. I don't want Jasmine to be with Aaron.
But there are enough other girls that are good size. That,
Taller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We want
Okay, good.
Jasmine safe.
I want Jasmine with like
There's not
Tucker.
two Jasmine.
Jasmines.
Which Jasmine you talking about?
Jasmine Harper, the one that has like the crazy hair.
I love her.
The,
both have
the last
crazy hair.
one.
Last one, yep.
No, he's talking about the first one.
The
with the
first one
short
was
hair,
short,
the
crazy
long in
hair.
the front.
Short, crazy
Excuse
hair.
me,
Gotcha,
yes.
gotcha.
They both have ridiculous hair. The other one has
Yeah.
like Simba, like a mane.
I kind of love
love
her.
I love
too.
that.
So
Cheers.
pretty. And then we move on. We've got some people being let go. We've got Carlos actually goes through here. He pretends to throw up on Kat. I like that moment.
That was
Yeah.
weird.
That was awkward. I was like,
that. I have weird humor like that. So
I was
think
embarrassed for him because I was like, oh.
You're trying.
Yeah, and she's like,
Yeah.
haha, joke's on you, you're up, go. Love her.
I like Carlos though. I would watch him during. I kept going to him in a lot of the group numbers.
Are you kidding me?
Yes. No, I'm not kidding. Oh no.
I like him.
Nobody agrees on this panel. This is great. We're going to be arguing all season. This
Yes.
is awesome.
That's funny because you and I usually agree on almost everything.
I'm not agreeing with you, tonight.
You explain what I feel because I never know how to express myself. I'm like, I like when they did that jump thing and they turned, and then she tells me what it means. But usually we agree.
She's like, je t'ai perdu.
I'm glad I have Chloe. this
Good
season.
thing, because clearly on this side of the table is going to be beating you guys up.
Wow.
I have
I want to
long
come back
arms.
towards the end and see like
See how-
what happens
I mean, our
here.
opinions
Look
are
at the biggest
completely
black eye.
changed, I
This is
feel
gonna
like.
You
be
could
the
come
war.
back and watch Curtis Holland in the finale. You could watch Blueprint in the finale. Jasmine Harper.
I think Curtis.
Yeah.
I think Curtis for sure.
Yeah. And then we've also got Haley Herbert. She talks about having insecurity in her dancing throughout her life, and
'Cause
that's
she
held
was
her
pretty.
back. Because she what?
Because she was pretty. I didn't like her story. I thought
She
it
said
was
'cause she was
silly.
pretty?
She's like, they're like, you're so beautiful. And she was talking about how she knew she was pretty. And she's like, but I'm really insecure in my dancing.
Okay, but here's the thing, though. I love that my sisters come up for the second time
That's
tonight.
awesome.
My sister is one of the prettiest girls I've ever seen in my entire life. She went through a lot of years out here in LA when she was really auditioning and getting dropped by agencies. She was really insecure. And sometimes pretty girls, when you hear how pretty you are your entire life, that's hard. It's really hard. Like it seems like
Champagne problems.
Yeah, not really though. But like that's a hard thing. Like I've heard it my entire life. It's difficult.
You definitely have a chip on your shoulder.
Well,
Jake is like,
Jake
I know.
with his hair.
No,
How does he do with
I
the
was
hair?
made fun of like so bad. I like do not consider that at all. If anyone is like cute, I'm like, what? Like really? Okay, cool. I like that. It's like nice to hear because I never like
You play
heard
that humble card well.
I never heard. Seriously, I'm not kidding. But enough about me. Go go go.
You're adorable.
Go go go.
You're,
I mean, I think she's pretty. She has an amazing body, but she's also a good dancer, though.
She is.
So if once she kind of, as long as she gets out of this sort of like, and then she's like, okay, I'm here, I'm gonna do this, and just do your best.
Be present. Be in the moment.
Be
You're
in
on
the
show.
moment and do your best, and you'll be fine. And Pretty or Not Pretty, this is the show that it's about your dancing and your personality, and sometimes like, this is a true story. Sometimes in the dance studio, this gorgeous girl walks in and just like stunning and sexy. You go, whoa. And then she starts moving. You're like, oh, nah, that's not pretty. And then, you know, a girl who's quite ordinary comes in and then starts dancing. You're like, oh my gosh, this, or a guy, it doesn't matter, a person. And you go, oh my gosh, this human being is stunning. And it's what you've got to bring to the table with your dance ability and your charisma that's going to do it for you. Not that you're pretty, or that you're not pretty, or that you're secure and insecure. Who cares if you're secure and insecure? Do your job.
There you go.
The first one you mentioned, actually in the gay world, we refer to that as a Monet.
Yes.
Beautiful from afar, and the closer they get, not
Monet?
so pretty. A
Really?
Monet.
Yeah.
They talk about it in Clueless.
Clueless, yeah.
She's a total Monet.
You know, that's that's our
Interesting.
movie, you know, not yours.
Whoa.
Whoa.
So next up,
We
we've
will
got
fight about that later.
Melise Miller.
Duh. That's what I wrote. Duh,
I
she
mean,
made it.
she's
Yeah.
so you think you can dance.
Yeah.
I mean, this show is created for this girl.
Yeah, she'll make it far.
Yeah.
She won't win.
I don't think she'll make it far. In the group numbers, I was like, she was in the back. The choreographers are not throwing her forward.
But
Well,
she
here's
was
the
never
problem. There's only
featured.
2 blonde girls this year, and it
Which
looks
is so
better
weird.
to have all the brunettes, because I noticed this in the girl dance. They put the blondes in the back.
They did.
It changes the balance.
Is it possible that she kind of peaked too soon? I think of her. She's
Maybe.
to me. She is. Was it Amelia last season?
I don't even
Amelia
know,
had
guys, who you're talking about. Like, I watched the show.
Short blonde pixie cut,
Super
She
cute,
told-
tiny face.
Oh,
Yeah.
super cute. tiny
Big
face.
eyes.
Got
Little
it
Twiggy
now.
doll.
like the Twiggy cut kind of.
Yeah. See, now the fact that you have to explain how she looks like,
yeah.
that's not good.
Yeah, exactly.
But my eyes seriously went to her the entire time during that Mia Michaels piece.
Yeah.
I
The
thought
Mia
that
Michaels
she-
piece was great.
I thought that she completely let go of
She
every
did.
single thing that she knew as a dancer and was just like, I'm going to dance the hell
was
out
a
of this
beautiful
dance.
She's
piece.
probably the only girl in the top 20 outside of maybe your favorite
Jasmine
Harper. Outside of her, that I would probably recognize on the street if I saw her.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
remember her. So
Yeah.
she's got that going for her. They made some comments though about how after she was dropped on her head, she really just kept dropping down their list.
What happened? She dropped on
She was dropped on her head in a
Armin
partnering
Way
skill.
actually dropped her.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
Armin.
you know Armin.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know
Can you tell
Armin.
us a little bit about Armin?
Why?
Because his music video where the girls are like washing the cars
I
is
know.
hilarious.
Isn't that funny?
I liked him though. By the end of the show this season, I really actually liked him.
Well, and I will say that
He
there
got
were a
some
lot
humble.
of tweets. There were a lot of tweets over the last 24 hours. A lot of people were unhappy with some of the male ballroom dancers that
Yeah.
were chosen. They
I
preferred
agree.
Armin over. They thought his technique was better
Absolutely.
than the
I
others.
can't wait
Yeah.
to talk about that actually, because I'm not very happy with the males that made it through. And
I just want to say on the Mia Michaels piece.
Oh my gosh.
Very Mad Men, very
Very.
Betty Draper,
Wait,
Megan
ready?
Draper, and Dawn Draper.
Yes.
Love
I wrote
triangle.
down Mad Men-esque. See?
Very.
There it is.
But you
Very
had the
much
blonde,
so.
which you figure is
Yeah.
Betty, which is not Betty Draper anymore, but Dawn Draper, and then you've got the new Mrs. Draper, which is
Yeah.
Jessica
Pere.
It was
Zoom.
amazing though. I think this was my favorite. I loved the sand number with the boys, but this one was just so creative and dynamic. Yes, and everything that was going on, it told such a beautiful story.
Absolutely.
And it was so
And they
great.
danced on a big rug that looked like the Twister game.
And sometimes I feel like with the thrashing movement that's so thrashy, I find it a little bit indulgent. Like it's like, look how weird I can be. But this, I felt there was a purpose
It worked.
behind
It
it. 'cause
was
there
purposely
angst.
trashing.
There was angst. It was so nice. It was
It was
beautiful.
trashing on purpose. Yeah, I liked it. I mean, it was kind of naughty actually. The number was very sexual.
a
I was
lot
like,
of undulation.
I was like, whoa, are they just humping like on the couch right now? Because that's how it looks like.
I'm pretty sure that's
okay,
what it was.
Out of it.
Yeah, and when she was laying on her back and her legs kept going up
I
in
know.
the air.
You're like, okay, yeah.
I liked when it was like round and around we go, and then their skirts like went.
Yeah.
So it
So
was
great.
just cool. It was
It was
genius
very
piece.
cool.
And that's
Very cool.
Rihanna's best song ever, so it's very timely right now. So we're
It is very
it's so
timely.
good.
Yeah.
Then we finally get into the ballroom dancers.
Yes.
So they bring in Brittany and Serge together.
Yeah.
They audition together. They've gone through this entire process together. Are they actual partners? No, they just audition together.
Good friends.
And so, of course, I'm assuming that one of them does go home. I'm looking at the wrong people right now.
Serge goes home.
does
Serge
go
goes home.
I wish they would have kept him. I feel like there was such a strong masculine presence to him that I
Yeah.
think that the ballroom guys are missing.
Yes.
I was,
Yep.
Yeah.
I was hoping that he would stay.
Yeah, the thing is, because I actually get to work with Serge quite a bit, because we're doing this show together, the traveling thing. It's called Ballroom with a Twist, and he's on it sometimes. And the week before, you know, when they filmed the LA, when they tell you like, no, you didn't make it, that weekend before, he was in Denver and we did a show together, and he was so excited, and he was just like, his whole mind was thinking like, okay, I'm gonna have to figure out a solo, I have to find music. I mean, he was so excited, like, I made it this far, because the first time he auditioned, I made it this far, and I just love it. And then he didn't make it.
So close you can taste it.
It broke my heart.
Close.
First of all, he's a good-looking guy. He looks different from the other ballroom dancers. He, I loved his dance. He's got a sexy name. I mean, it seemed like everything.
Sexy name.
But
Sexy name.
There are all the names on the show are always
I
unique.
didn't get why they didn't take him.
I didn't either.
don't feel it.
They didn't give a reason either. That's the tough thing.
They just like, yeah, you're not in.
When they had the final ballroom dancers, the males lined up last week, I assumed it would be Serge and Armin. That's what I thought.
I thought so
Because
too.
Armin, they got rid of him, but there's a really great potential with him to kind
has
of
a lot
create
of
that story,
presence.
and to continue to grow, because they kind of
a lot of
broke him down,
presence.
and he was actually open to it. He actually said, and we talked about this, there's a little bit of a communication barrier sometimes, I think, with Americans and non-Americans, and the way he was coming across at first, I think he had no idea that's how he's being perceived.
Yep.
And then once they brought it to his attention, he was like, wow, I'm really sorry, let me work on that. And he did,
Yep.
and I appreciated that.
Yeah.
That's a bummer.
I
but,
really liked how gracious Serge was when he walked back with Brittany, and it was not about him.
And he just went like this. And
Yeah, he made it so much about her. It was
And
so
Brittany was
sweet.
very sad. You could tell she was happy, but so sad. It was awful.
That's the weirdest feeling. It's like a no-win situation, at least in that moment. Obviously,
Yeah.
she'll move on,
Of course.
and so will he. But in that moment, that's tough.
Yeah.
That is tough.
I hope they have another season. I hope they pick him up again, because he's really, he loves dancing. He's a hard worker, and he's a talented kid.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish he would have been this season, but
Yeah.
darn it.
Me too, but you don't always get what you wish for, right? Well, before we move on to the rest of the ballroom dancers, I want to take a moment to thank you guys for watching us on YouTube and listening to us on iTunes. You guys, if you're iTunes fans, I want to let you know there's an app for your iPhone that is called Podcast with an S. You can have all of your favorite AfterBuzz shows automatically downloaded wherever you are, whenever they're available, and you can listen to us at your leisure. I can't even talk right now. What am I doing? You can listen to us at your leisure. Please rate us, give us 5 stars, tell your friends and family about us, you guys. Leave us comments. We will get on there and comment back. We love interacting with our fans. We do the show for you guys. We're super fans just like you guys are. So please take some time to give us 5 stars. Thank you. Also, let's talk about our new website.
Ooh,
Yeah.
yes.
Our new
Guys have a
website.
new website.
It's
Yes.
fancy.
What, you want to talk about it, Chloe?
Yeah, it's really pretty. And the old website used to be all dark, and now this one's really bright. And everybody, please go on and like comment and rate it and tell us what you like, tell us what you don't like. But it's much easier to watch the videos of it and everything. It's just easier to find anything.
It's much easier to navigate, yeah.
The user interface is so much more friendly, but way more photos are on there, and our bios are on there. I don't know if you guys saw. You can read about us.
And like Chloe said, it's just pretty.
It's pretty.
It is
It
pretty.
was dark, and now it's light.
Fashionista for you.
Yeah.
If you guys didn't know, Chloe's a big fashion guru.
So yeah, I love it. I love the new site. Did you guys check it out?
Of course.
Oh, it's great.
I love
so
it.
So yeah, check it out, you guys, and let us know what you think, because a lot of the changes we made from the old site were what the fans were telling us that they didn't like.
The
And that
AfterBuzz
wasn't
TV
easy.
really is driven by the fans completely. That's it. I mean, we're all fans. You're fans. The only reason this online network is here is because of the fans.
Yep.
And because of Maria Menounos again. I'm giving her 2 shout-outs tonight. you guys.
Yay!
Maria.
Let's move on. The rest
Suck
of
up.
these, we've got some more ballroom dancers, right? I know how to play the game. No, so we've got Jenna Johnson.
Oh, she's good.
Jenna
Yes, this
Johnson.
girl, I didn't know this story, but both
Yeah.
of her sisters were cut on Green Mile in seasons past.
I wasn't this
Did
Did
mentioned
you know the
before.
Johnson family?
No.
You don't know any of the
I
girls?
don't know
They're
any
all
of
out of Utah, I believe. So
I bet Chelsea knows them.
Probably Chelsea does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, how much pressure, first of all, that both of your sisters have been cut at this exact same point in the competition, and to go out there and to feel like, Like, there's part of me that was like, okay, I kind of hope she doesn't make it through, at least so they're all equal.
But we knew she was going to make it. They've been touting her the entire audition process.
And they were showing her so much.
Yeah.
They were like featuring on her. They love her.
The camera loves her.
Yes.
She's gonna go so far.
Yeah.
She knows how to work that. She knows how to work the jib camera too.
Yeah.
She's one of the only dancers who knows when it slides on in, she like winks at it real quick, and then it pulls out, and the director picks it up and always uses that shot.
Yeah.
Okay, then did she wear purple in the number, or did she wear the
Red.
She wore red.
wore the red.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's okay. Because I never looked at her the entire time.
Oh, I noticed she was the
looked
only
at
one I
purple.
noticed.
I
Me
saw
too.
purple all day, every day, and I couldn't figure out which one was which, because they're both brunettes this
Both
season, which
brunettes.
is weird.
Yeah.
We're used to the blondes last year, now we've
Yeah.
got brunettes this season.
Hey, good to switch it up.
And Dancing with the Stars is going to need some brunettes apparently in another year, another season.
No,
too, so,
There are plenty of brunettes and plenty of blondes.
And the show's only on one night a week. There are too many dancers now.
Yeah.
That's going to be the problem next season.
Well, you're not going anywhere. You've been around forever. You're one of my favorites.
Well, I wasn't on last season, so
She was our co-host.
I was.
I didn't watch last season. That's why.
There we go.
Clearly.
That's why. That's why people
She
didn't
was here
watch.
with us.
I know. I heard. I would get updates from this one, how wonderful you were.
No.
I was like, how did you get her in the studio? Now I know why.
Here we go.
Now I know.
So I danced my way into the AfterBuzz.
You're like, you gotta keep moving. Gotta keep moving in the city.
I mean, Jenna to me is a very strong competitor. She has like the eye of a tiger. She, like Chloe said, she knows how to work sort of the camera. She knows she's got to put the personality. Like she took So You Think You Can Dance playbook and studied every single play.
Yeah.
So she's in, she's in
it to win it.
But do you think that viewers will see that as a little bit disingenuous, though?
I hope she will get a little bit of her personality and she'll soften it up a bit, because right now it was like, oh, girl, you're intimidating a little bit. Yeah. Let's move on to the last ballroom boy.
Yes.
Who's he?
So we bring in the
Alan.
brothers. We have Paul first, who makes it through
Oh,
from
right.
So
the
You Think
winner
You
of
Can
Say
Dance?
Against Armenia. Who knew? He makes it through, and then we've got Alan and was it Jean?
Jean, yeah.
Well, Alan and Jean, okay, but the Armenian guy, like, what?
Yeah,
They
exactly.
featured him early on.
He lives
at
in
Los
Glendale,
Angeles.
right?
Yeah, he lives in Glendale, which a lot of Armenians
Yeah,
do. People aren't familiar with Glendale
He's
here in
this
Los
big.
Angeles.
He's tiny, but he has a good personality, which I like.
I didn't find the boys very dynamic in comparison to the ladies and comparison to Armin.
Yeah.
Yeah, at all.
Yeah.
So the younger brother makes
The
it
younger
through.
brother, man, like, I knew he's going to be the one making it through because he was the crier.
Yeah.
He was the one crying in, like, the rehearsals and the auditions, and I'm like, that's the one
And
that's
as
going.
an older sibling who's been in these sorts of scenarios before, that's a tough one, because the older sibling, it's like the Serena and the Venus Williams. Venus Williams always wants Serena to do well. Then Serena starts kicking her ass and then keeps continuing to do it forever and ever and ever. Then it's not quite so much fun.
The younger sibling's always more talented,
Always,
though,
always.
because they have to compete at that higher level.
They have to keep up with the older sibling. The older one also paves the way. They
And
make
then
it a
there's
little
Jenna
bit easier.
Johnson. Same
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So a lot of sibling stories in this, a lot of family stories this entire season. So
Ballroom dance was Louis Van Amstel.
Yeah.
Little
Yay!
You
I
know,
like this number.
Yeah, and I had a
I
really
enjoyed it.
interesting question from Kristen Hope, who directed at you. But are you guys allowed to sort of cross over where Louis was, might have a contract with ABC and then go to Fox and do So You Think You Can Dance?
Well, obviously, in like Dmitri and Chelsea was in auditions, and Louis done it for years. Jonathan did it, where he choreographed a few years. So it's kind of the way with our contract, because right now we technically are not filming for Dancing with the Stars, so we could be guest featured on other shows that are, scripted or non-scripted.
So there's no restriction in the off season per se.
But after I said that, you always have to kind of go and tell the producers of our show and be like, is it okay if we go do this other dancing show?
At this point, I feel like the cross promotion is probably good for
But the
both
cross
shows.
promotion is good, and we actually had, last few seasons of Dancing with the Stars, we had, Twitch and Allison, literally like every other show out there. And we had Melanie, and we had so many people from So You Think You Can Dance, and choreographers. Stacey Tukey did a number.
Yep.
Mia Michaels
came by. Christopher Scott did quite a few numbers. So we have enough people going back and forth, because it's like, hey, listen, let's make this show
Of course.
better.
And let people work too. Get
Yeah.
as much exposure as possible.
And you have to stay relevant. You have to the young talent coming through. You have to you have to show them. You know.
And like you said earlier, dancing community is quite a small, compact community. So people feel like we should all support each other and kind of
So maybe there is a
out.
chance for me to get into the dance world. It's so
Here we
small,
go.
right? I can break in. All right, you guys were actually a little low on time, so let's try.
Okay,
Let's try to crank
move
some
on.
of these out. We've got Amy Yakamura makes it through.
Yeah.
They call her a beast. I mean, they obviously love her.
She's amazing.
Megan and Jasmine, the last two girls, both made it on Green Mile last year. I was really, really happy with this choice.
Yeah.
Based on one thing I talk about every single week, and it's attitude. Attitude. I didn't like Megan's attitude. When Megan said, she goes, I've worked too hard not to make it.
That's true. Bad attitude.
Guess what? The girl next to you was here last year, too. She's worked just as hard, if not harder.
Everybody's working hard.
Yeah.
She's one of those girls, I talk about this every week. There's a big difference between the word deserve and the word earn. A lot of people think they deserve things, and they use that. They think those words are synonymous, but they're really not at all.
Yeah.
A lot of people, this girl thinks she deserves it. She doesn't deserve it any more than anyone else. However, Jasmine earned it. And that's cool. And I love.
I loved her from the group dance we saw in Vegas, and that really amazing piece that they did about Boston.
Yeah.
And when I saw her again, I was like, great. I'm so glad she's making it through.
Yeah.
So
I'm really happy with the top 20. Just real quickly, let's go through these last group numbers. Oh no, they did a Sonia Taya number, which was actually my favorite of the night.
That was my favorite.
That was my
of the night,
favorite.
too.
Really?
that was not my favorite.
Me
I thought it was
too.
incredibly weird.
What?
I love it.
I felt it was repetitive.
Well, yes.
I felt I've seen that with Melanie and
Sonia does do a lot of
Sasha.
Sonia does a lot of the
Warrior Princess.
Yes. In the training
You
world,
see
we call them
it at
sumo
every-
squats. Wide stance, low, like kind of like back
You
and
see
forth.
it in every college dance program, this dance. It was nothing new.
Yeah.
Well, like, I feel like these choreographers, why are they going to throw out their best stuff? They're not competing.
That is quite true.
So,
But
That is
here's
true.
the question I want to pose to you: is who were your eyes on the whole
Amy.
time? Really?
Jasmine.
Yeah.
It was Jasmine the whole time.
Jasmine.
Jasmine was too. When I was watching her, I was like, is she doing it wrong?
There were some falters to her movement, but
she went for it.
She's still like, I don't know,
She
there's
was
an attitude, there's a
very-
presence.
I wrote
She was
down-
very praying mantis.
I wrote down Jasmine throws everything into it.
Yeah.
And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, but I
Yeah,
appreciate
she's
the effort.
committed.
Yeah,
I liked it.
exactly.
Trying, yeah.
It was something in like me wanting to see it beautiful, and it was too her. It was just not working for me.
I like it dirty and
Yeah.
messy. I love it.
Like
So,
the sand piece was dirty.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
let's talk about the same
Yes.
piece. Christopher Scott.
Amazing.
Phenomenal.
Really unique.
His best dance of
Phenomenal.
these probably ever choreographed, in my opinion.
Yep.
I think that's amazing.
I just loved it. Although I was thinking those poor stage crew people. Have to line that up.
Really fast.
Yeah, but if you go to the taping, they usually tape some of the group dances ahead of
Earlier.
time, and I'm sure that the men and the girls were done different times.
Earlier,
That's
yeah.
Yep.
They
but
had
it is-
to.
A lot of makeup and hair changes.
The
for
magic
those
of
Yeah,
television.
yeah.
And then we
Yeah.
move on to the female group.
The female
We've got a
group.
Ray Leeper number
Ray Leeper.
here. What did you guys think about this one?
I loved this.
Oh no, I loved the idea, and then the execution was terrible.
Yeah.
What did you think?
Anna, what did
Yeah.
you think?
It was very busy. The costumes were very busy. I mean, I get the whole Sweet Charity inspiration, but it's like, Sweet Charity is brilliant because it's super simple. The lines are very clean.
It's Bob Fosse.
Bob Fosse is brilliant because it's super simple. The lines are very clean. It's very timed. The whole thing about Bob Fosse and why it works. All of his dancers were professional dancers that worked for years and years, and the smallest movements, the smallest details, they were able to match it exactly and perfectly. And I felt with this routine, like I felt like nobody ever matched. Like they
yeah.
tried to hit the same beats and the same style, but it's like they didn't.
Now, I liked it because I just think I looked at the men and while I love the choreography of the men's, I thought with the girls, I'm like, the girls are more dynamic. I think a girl's going to win this season.
Yeah, but the thing is,
So is it just one winner?
Yes.
Yeah.
They announced that when
It's been announced. They haven't officially announced it on the show.
they haven't really
but
talked about it on the show
but they
yet.
talked about it in
I do
articles.
think, okay, well, this is the thing, and this is such a funky thing about this, So You Think You Can Dance, because I do feel like this season the girls are stronger technically and more dynamical, but I feel guys have more personalities. And it's a little bit like, and you can, there's the, Christopher Scott routine, of course, you can't compare what guys can do and what girls can do physically. It's, even though we try, it's some of the things that guys can do, girls just, it's kind of hard. But there was a story, there was a plot, there was a throughout story to that sand piece.
Sure.
And it was just movement.
Yeah.
It was clever movement, cleverly done to clever music.
But no purpose.
Without any purpose.
Well, the interesting thing about the show is that I believe through season 8, it had been won by 4 girls and 4 guys, correct?
Yeah.
So, I mean, there is, I don't understand why season 9 felt the need to, like, it's not fair to compete. Well, it's been won by 4 and 4, so it didn't really make sense last year. I'm glad they went back to the old format.
I think so.
We've got one last number. It's the top 20 number, Sonia Taya.
I love this one.
Sick.
Yeah, this is
Sick.
great.
I love whenever she gets the group in a mess and they all move in this like kind of liquidy. It's just so hot.
And
it's
it
so
isn't easy to
sexy.
choreograph for 20 people with so many different styles.
It is so hard, guys.
It was just sick. It was just beautiful.
To choreograph for that many people who are all very different, have different training and have different strengths. Like you have to, I mean, your brain literally have to go into 100 pieces to be able to then bring it all
I feel
back
like her
together.
brain's probably in 100 pieces on a regular basis. She's a genius. I don't know how
She's
she does
brilliant.
it. She
I love
really
that
is.
she demands that they listen to her too. I love that.
Yeah,
She's just like,
she's
hey,
very
over
strong.
here, look at me. I'm like, they're all like, oh
is she
god.
tiny?
She's
is she
small.
small?
She's like 5'1".
That's probably why she's like,
five foot.
making herself so much bigger so that they
Like with
have
her
to.
hair and makeup and piercing and everything, yeah.
I think that's kind of
And the
sexy.
banana earrings, like the plantains hanging on her ears.
Because why not? Why not?
And she only wears eye makeup under her eyes, which I love. Because
Yeah.
usually you're normally like wiping under your eyes.
Yeah,
And she's like,
and
I'm
she's
gonna
like-
draw right
Yeah.
there.
She's a fierce lady.
To me, everybody's little because I'm so tall.
Yeah.
I love when somebody can put me in my place and make me just shut up and listen.
Yeah.
That's a big turn on for me. I like
Can
it.
I just can I just say about the costumes? It reminded me of the old Planet of the Apes,
Yes.
but like second or the third one. You know, when they
Yes.
went underground and there were all these people that were like praying all the time. The outfits, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's like Planet of the Apes, like 2 or 3.
I love these old American films, you guys.
It's so random.
First of all, I want to thank you so much for being here, and I hope you do come back later in the season and find out how on point our
Yes.
predictions are. We're going to skip predictions tonight just because it's a
Too
lot.
early.
Yeah, it's early.
It is way too early. Where can our viewers and our fans follow you on social media?
You can follow me on Twitter at AJ Trebunskaya. You can Facebook me, or go to my website, AnnaTrebunskaya.com, or go to my studio, YCGstudio.com in Hermosa Beach, California.
Love it. Chloe West.
HB.
You can find me Twitter, Instagram, and Vine at Chloe West X, or my website, cheapthrills.me.
I love that we have Vine now to add. Kristyn.
Yeah.
All right, I'm at Kristyn Burtt on Twitter, and I will be hosting the live red carpet of the Thirst Project Gala on Tuesday night. Peter Murgatroyd is a guest. You should come if you're in town.
Sexy.
All right, we'll talk about it after. I'll be interviewing her.
You can find me on Twitter at Jake_Dupree and on Instagram at Jake Dupree.
You guys can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Vine at _AJ Gibson. Check out my website, ajgibson.tv. Thank you all so much. Thank you again, Anna, for being here.
Thank
so
you.
lovely to finally meet
Thanks
you.
for
Until
having
next
me.
week, you guys, take care.
From
Yeah.
Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.